Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to another episode of IIP Discussions. Inshallah, in today's video, we will be going over the military genius of Khalid ibn Waleed radiallahu anh, and the actions that he took at the Battle of Mu'tah that saved the Muslim armies from extinction. Now, before we do actually go into the Battle of Mu'tah and what Khalid radiallahu anhu did, let's actually just look at who he was. It is without a doubt that Khalid radiallahu anhu is one of the greatest military generals in the history of humanity. A man who fought over 100 battles and he never lost a single one. In fact, it is the opinion of many historians that Khalid radiallahu anhu was the greatest general to ever exist in the history of humanity, the greatest military general ever. Regardless, of whether he was or not, all historians will agree that he is up there as the top three, among none other than Alexander the Great and Napoleon. And although many will agree with me in saying that Yarmouk was his greatest victory, the Battle of Yarmouk, there is one great battle that he partook in that is often overlooked, and that is none other than the Battle of Mu'tah. Now, what happened in the Battle of Mu'tah, before we look at the leadership of Khalid ibn Waleed and what he did, what actually happened at the Battle of Mu'tah? So in the year 8 Hijri, or 629 AD, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sent an emissary, a messenger, to Sham, which was controlled by the Syrians, to Syria. Which was controlled by the Romans in Syria. But he was killed by the governor, I believe the city was Busra. He was killed by the governor. And in those times, to kill a messenger or an ambassador, that is an act of war, and it could not be forgiven. So accordingly, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he dispatched an army of 3,000 men to fight against the Byzantines, and the command was given to a man called Zayd ibn al-Harith radiallahu anh. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if Zayd radiallahu anh is martyred, then Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh should take command, and if he is martyred, then Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu anh should take command. And when the Romans heard that the Muslims were marching out with this 3,000 man army, they made a coalition with the Christian Arabs, the Ghassanids. They made a coalition with them, and they formed an army of 200,000 men, and they marched out. And when the Muslims heard this, they gathered their council, the army which now was camping outside Medina. They started marching towards Medina, and they took counsel. And some of them were saying, let's retreat because there's no way we can fight 200,000 men with such a small army. Some said, let's wait here and ask for reinforcements from Medina, and once those reinforcements come, then we can fight. And one man, Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu anh, and you can see why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him the command as well if the other two had been martyred. He said, are you Muslims, are you running away from the very thing you came out to achieve? Either we'll fight and we'll be victorious, or we'll fight and die and we'll go to Jannah as martyrs. So why are we running away? What is there to lose? And the Muslims, their hearts became reinvigorated with the desire for martyrdom, and so they decided to march out and meet the Romans head on. And when the two armies lined up in 8 Hijri, the two armies lined up and the fighting began. And what happened is the Romans saw that the flag of command was with Zayd ibn al-Haritha radiallahu anh, and so they went and they martyred him. Then they saw Ja'far ibn Abi Talib take command, and what they did is they went and they chopped off his arm, and then he held the flag with his other hand, and they chopped off that hand too, and then he held it with whatever was left of his arms, and then they finally martyred him. And the Prophet Muhammad was narrating this in Medina, and he was saying that he gave his arms in the service of Allah. In Jannah he will have wings, and he was given the title Ja'far al-Tayyar, Ja'far the winged one. And then what happened is Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu anhu, he took the flag, and he too was martyred. And now the Muslims are in chaos because there is no commander left, there's no command structure left in the army, and so no one knows what to do. And one companion, he took the flag and he offered it to Khalid radiallahu anhu. And he initially refused. Khalid radiallahu anhu, he refused because He was saying that he's only a new Muslim. Only recently he became a Muslim. And all these companions, most of them were senior to him. And he said, how can I command you? But then the companions, they insisted that Khalid radiallahu anhu take the command. And why? Why did they offer it to him out of all the other companions? He had a point. Most of the companions were senior to him in terms of accepting Islam. But why did they offer it to him? See, Khalid radiallahu anhu was known for his military genius, even before becoming Muslim. So they gave him the command and he took the command. And the Romans thought, yes, the next commander, and now we're going to go kill him. But little did they know that the man they were fighting and the man they were about to attack was Khalid ibn Waleed radiallahu anhu. And the fighting, he says that fighting became so, vicious and intense that he broke 9 swords in that battle. And after fighting finished on the first day, now this is where Khalid radiallahu anhu, he proved himself as a military, a competent commander and a genius. What he did is at night, he swapped the right wing with the left wing and vice versa. So the soldiers on the right went to the left and the soldiers on the left went to the right. And then he brought the soldiers from the back, in the middle, the soldiers in the back, he brought them to the front. And he gave them new flags. He got rid of the old flags and he gave them new flags. And what he did is he also sent a small regiment of the cavalry. He sent them far off into the desert in the middle of the night. And the Romans did not see this. And he also ordered the soldiers, make as much noise as you can tonight. Make a lot of noise. And so you might be wondering, what is all this thing that he's doing, sopping and sending cavalry away? Why is he sending soldiers away? Now come the next morning, the Romans are seeing new flags and new faces, because now the right wing has been swapped with the left wing. There's new flags, and so now they're scared. They're thinking reinforcements have come from Medina overnight. And then so the fighting began, and Khalid radiallahu anhu, he ordered the cavalry that he sent off in the middle of the night, he ordered them to come and attack. And so the Romans are getting even more scared. They're thinking even more reinforcements are coming from Medina, and they're thinking, if overnight, in that short amount of time, if this much reinforcements can come from Medina, imagine how many more will keep coming. So they became scared and they decided not to pursue the Muslims. And Khalid radiallahu anhu, he, in an orderly manner, he retreated his soldiers and they went back to Medina. And this way, he saved the Muslim armies. And from this day, Khalid radiallahu anhu, he was given the title Sayfullah, the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of this, this master stroke that he pulled off. And then after the Battle of Mu'ta, he would go on to fight many battles alongside the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu would name him the commander to fight in the Ridda wars. Then he would go on to fight the Persians, and then he would go on to fight the Romans and win the Battle of Yarmouk. And pretty much the conqueror of Persia and the conqueror of Sham, most of these conquests are down to his military genius, and obviously the help and the divine help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is who Khalid radiallahu anhu was, a military commander, the greatest military commander in history, a man who fought 100 battles and never lost. So I hope you now do know something about Khalid radiallahu anhu and took some benefit. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.